Welcome, friends. So, we are proceeding with Six Sigma understanding. As we discussed in session one about Six Sigma is, that what Six Sigma is, and what are different steps for implementation of Six Sigma under DMAIC model. So, today we are going to discuss in detail what the define phase of DMAIC model is. DMAIC stands for define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. So today we are going to be going into more depth of define phase, and this coverage is going to be good enough if you start implementing Six Sigma in your organization. You may be yourself a business owner, a small industry if you are running, or you may be a professional to solve the problems. You can start implementing it. So let us proceed with what the define phase is. What we have discussed in the last slide, that also I'll show you. So we have discussed 12 steps of DMAIC in the previous session. Identifying project CTQ, developing team charter, and defining process map are elementary or starting for define phase, and that we are going to cover today. Then measure phase is having select the CTQ, define the performance standard, validate the measurement. Analyze is establish process capability, define performance objectives, identify variations. So we are starting with the first phase, that is define today. So when we'll talk about define phase, there are three key work, key elements, key activities we are supposed to do. The first one is getting our team charter ready. That is project charter, we can say. Normal in Six Sigma language, we say the project charter. So that is what the first activity is. Second is we should see that how we are going to be customer focused, how we are converting customer requirement into technical specification, and then CTQ, critical to quality parameter, and process mapping. So what are going to be under this? Let us go through it. So when we talk about the project charting or team charting, it is the business case. The components are business case. We are to finalize business case, problem and goal statement, project scope, milestones, and roles. So we'll be covering it a little bit later in detail. So these are going to be the key elements. It's basically clarifying what you want to do, why you want to do, and who are going to do it, and what resources maybe you're needing, and when you can complete it. Second is customer focus. Now, when we talk about the customer focus, it is converting, translate the customer needs into specific requirements. Method of collection customer information is going to be part of customer focus. How we are getting information from the customer. So there are different tools and techniques what we can use. Part of it we'll be discussing here today. Process mapping. Under process mapping, we define what is the definition of the process, connecting the customer to the process, how customer is connected to our process, where is going to interact with the process, and then business process mapping, how actually the process is taking place in the business. Benefit and application of process mapping, we can discuss it, but mostly during this session we are going to cover what the process mapping is and what are the tools to use for process mapping. Let us go one by one. What is the project charter, or what is the charter? Charter is a document that provides the purpose and goal to an improvement team. So before we start a project, we should be clear that what is the goal of the project, what is the purpose of the project. So to give this clearly to the improvement team is what is the role of a charter is. So it makes your team focused on the goal. That is what is project charter. It gives you the clarity. Major elements of project charter are, so it's a single page, you can make a single page document or you can take a multiple page document. The things required to be written on this is business case, explanation of why to do this project. You have to justify that why do you want to do the project, what are going to be the benefit, what if you are not doing this project, what are the losses the company or you are facing because of not doing the project. You have to see that the project is worth of investment of time and money. So that all is required to be discussed under business case. Problem and goal statement, description of the problem, opportunity, and the objective in clear, concise, and measurable terms. Now, once we are clear with the business case, then the next thing is going to be what is exactly or what the exactly the problem is, and where the opportunities lies. Opportunities means some defect which can be converted into a profit. Okay, so we should be very clear in this definition of project and goal statement. We have to be fulfilling specific, maybe smart kind of goal can be written. Project scope, process dimensions, available resources. So project scope will in fact define what you can do and what you cannot do. It is more about what you can, we are not going to focus, what is out of scope. So once if we are not focused on a particular problem, we cannot solve it. So project scope will make you focused for the particular domain or a limited field of work. Milestones will is simply the key steps and the dates to achieve the goal. It is a kind of timeline giving the objective with times. Roles, pupils, expectations, and responsibility. Who is going to do what? Who is going to be responsible for what? Who is going to be responsible for different kind of work? What are the expectations from the different persons? These are all going to be under role. So these 5 elements are must in a project charter. So whenever you start a project, you need to make a project charter and get it approved. You are required to get it approved from the person who is going to finance the project if you yourself are not financing. So maybe if you are working as an engineer or a manager or somewhere in an organization and want to push for it's a particular Six Sigma project, then first of all you'll make the charter and get it approved with the management that you wish to implement it for, and be specific what is the reason why do you want to do it. What is the meaning of business case? Now let us see in the detail why this project worth doing, why it is important to do now, that is timeline, why we should do it just now, what is the reason, what are the benefits, what are the consequences of not doing the project. If we won't do the project, what losses we are going to face today or maybe in future. What activities have higher or equal priorities, what activities are, maybe you have to select out of many projects which project is okay for you. So you have to see what activities has the higher or equal priorities. How does it fit with the business initiatives and target? Now if I am doing a project, how it is matching with my vision and mission. Okay, so that is how it is fixing with the initiatives and target of the business. Now we'll talk about another element of project charter is project and goal statement. The purpose of problem statement is to describe what is wrong. The goal statement then define the team's improvement objective. The problem plus goal statement will make your team focused. It will identify the opportunity. It is going to how you are going to attack the opportunity. So you should have a clear problem and goal statement so that your team is focused what they are supposed to do. Your goals and is problems, smart problems and goals statement. Yani your problems and goals should be smart means specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. These all things are required to be satisfied. I hope you understand the meaning of specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. So this is making a very clear definition of a goal. Project scope. Let us see what is another part of charter was project scope. What process will the team focused on? What are the boundaries of the process we are to improve? Start point, stop point. What resources are available to the team? What if anything is out of bound for the team? What if any constraints must the team work under? What is the time commitment expected of team members? What are the advantages of each team members for the time commitment? So this is something like a proper planning and trying to see that what I am not going to touch, what is not in my scope, leave it aside, don't waste my time and energy on that. So that is what is the meaning of clarifying the project scope. That will make team again very much focused. What are the key roles and responsibility? Normally people used to ask many times that, so what is the meaning of different kind of terms. In fact, I have told you in the last session that Six Sigma is not a certification for to any organization, but you can have your persons trained at a particular level of expertise. These are classified as green belt, black belt, Six Sigma, master black belt, champions, and sponsored. Green belt will help the champions or guides team selected team members, plan team meetings, lead meetings, handle meeting logistics, make recommendation or change. So green belt is lower level. Next to green is black belt. Black belt help plan meetings, observe team performance, coach the team if required. Champions define the project, select master black belt, green belt team and team members, determine needed resources, orient the team, and review the progress. So champion is relatively less involved directly. The direct involvement is of green belt, then after green there is black belt, and then black belt. Overall, on many black belt you'll have a master black belt who will be simultaneously seeing the progress of different black belt projects, and one black belt can see many of the green belt projects. Six Sigma team participation in the meeting, help with the administrative tasks, meet the champions for the review, and make recommendation for the change. This is what is the expected from the Six Sigma team. How to understand the customer's need, gather input on customer's need, listen to voice of the customer, analyze and translate VOC input into meaningful terms, define requirement for the process, product and services. So gathering the information, you can gather the information with different kind of tools. You can use survey, you can use focus group, you can use interview, you can do case studies. So that is what you are supposed to do when you are trying to gather the information. Then converting these informations into useful meaningful term, we use a tool known as house of quality. Okay, quality function deployment. We will not be covering it today, but this is one of the major tool which convert the vague requirements coming from the customers or the requirement which are coming non-technical and converting it into a technical specification for the product and process. We'll have a separate video on QFD. It's a complete topic, in fact, and where we can understand how quality function deployment or house of quality can be made. Define the requirement for the process, product, and services using. So CTQ is you are defining CTQ based on the customer requirements. So these are some advantages and limitations of different kind of data collection methods which we collect the data from customer. So if you'll do the survey with the Likert scale is that is you can use 1 to 7 or 1 to 5 or whatever is the level you want. 1 means lowest and 5 or 7 means highest. What are the pros and cons? Lowest cost of to approach, phone response rate is 70 to 90%. Mail survey required least amount of trained resources for the executions, can produce faster results. Cons are mail survey can get incomplete results, skipped questions, unclear understanding because many people do not reply all the questions. Mail survey have 20 to 30% response rate. Phone survey interview has influential role, can lead interview producing undesirable results. So if you are doing on phone, that is also having some kind of limitations, because you may be influenced by the influencer. Focus group interaction generate information, more in-depth response, excellent for getting CTQ's definition, can cover more complex questions or qualitative data. Cons. Learning only applied to those asked difficult to generalize. Data collected typically qualitative versus quantitative, can generate too much incidental information. A dominant personality can influence again the same kind of limitation what was there in survey. Interviews can tackle complex questions and a wide range of information, allow use of visual data. Good choice when people want to respond willingly and on the accurately by the phone or email. Long cycle to complete because it required a lot of time and resources to interview many persons. Required trained experienced interviewer, and cost of interview is definitely high. You can use different kind of tools nowadays like survey monkey and all, which are available to you. Paid or unpaid tools are available. You may use Google form, you may use type form, you can use different kind of form to collect this. Now what is the process mapping, and what is the major tool of process mapping? That is SIPOC, supplier input process output customer. So we take the information from the supplier, make the input. From the input we see the what is the process to make that particular product, or input is required to be satisfied. That will give you output, and again output will go to the customer, and customer may again give the feedback, and you may require to improve the things. So it is it is a pictorial representation of all the things what is happening, and it can be very helpful. It gives the clarity to the project management team. For example, this is one of the typoc made. If you are going to purchase a car, you are visiting the dealer. So supplier is dealer or money magaziner, or you can say it can be any kind of you say like cardeko.com, or different kind of vendors are coming. These can be the suppliers. Input is a car, and information, you wish to see the information in the car. And process is going to be, you are going to choose the dealer, take the test drive, negotiate, and finance and paperwork, and then you can get it. Output is going to be that you purchase a car. Now who can be the customers? Maybe your spouse, your children's, you yourself. And what are the requirements? Requirements may be related to color, speed, uh, status. You want a bigger car, longer car, that all kind of brands. Some brands are associated with the you say status, as a status symbol. Simple brainstorm the high level steps at a large point. We will put them in a chronological order. As the ad says, there are two-way uses for a tissues: cleaning your glass and blowing your nose. You have to get the order right. So this is the about how to make the process map, how to make the process. You have to write different verbs, use verbs only. Output is going to be noun, input is going to be noun, supplier is going to be noun, but the process is going to be verb. And you are going to write down everything in detail. You are going to write down everything in terms of a flow diagram, how the things are going to take place. Okay, so this is all about what we should do in the define phase. We should be ready with project charter, we should be ready with SIPOC, and we should be able to collect the data from any of the source. So these are three things. We have to collect the voice of customer, we have to make the project charter, we have to make SIPOC. supplier, input, process, output, customer requirement diagram. So these three things you are supposed to make. If you are doing something, some of the Six Sigma projects with me, so you can start doing it and make your start making the reports. So define the project charter with all the five elements we have discussed, and after that you have to see that voice of customer has been recorded or collected with appropriate tool. Then you have to see what is going to be the process of manufacturing and what is going to be SIPOC looks like. It will give you clarity about how to implement your project further. So this is what I wish to cover today, and I hope this is beneficial to you. You must have learned it something, and keep following me. And if there is any doubt or difficulty, you can raise your doubt and difficulty. This is a part of our programs of innovation, and we are starting with this for small and medium industries, persons and professionals who do not want to invest much money on the training. So you follow these slides, you can follow the particular tools which has been given to you, and you can start or complete your define phase here. So I hope this is valuable for you, and you must be learning out of it. We will be continuing with next phase and separately about QFD. So let us continue in the next lecture, next session about major phase, and I will pick up your doubt or difficulty if any. So do share it. Do not keep your doubts up to your end. So wish you all the best. Let us see that we can progress together. Thank you all for joining me. I'm Ashish Soti from Soti's, the Social and Industrial Innovation LLP. And here I am signing off. Those who are interested can definitely subscribe our channel for such informations available to you free of cost. Thank you all once again, and wish you all the best.